Hello, welcome in everybody. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot, and this is going to be a Divine Masculine Energy update. Keep in mind, timing and energy is still fluid. This could be pertaining to your own twin flame journey. It may or may not be for you. So let's get into the Divine Masculine energies. I was sitting in this energy of the Queen of Swords, and so I feel there's been some type of blunt, harsh truth delivered to the Divine Masculine collective, and it felt like a very still energy, like the masculine was sitting in a very still state. It was like the gate of stillness. There was all of this very focused, channeled energy all in one like source of keeping still. And then I was shown the Mountain card from the tea leaf deck. And so I feel there's been some type of temporary challenges that the masculine has faced. There is some type of self-imposed inaction going on with the Divine Masculine collective for the benefit of like some sort of reassessment. And so Pluto did just go retrograde. So this might be connected to that. It may not be, but a very concentrated, focused energy of stillness and withdraw, kind of like the Hermit card. And so I feel right now the masculine is in a very passive energy state rather than being active or taking action. And he's kind of at this gateway or the cross of understanding his service-based mission is what I feel. And then I was shown the number 2. And so 2s are all about decisions, crossroads, right? 2 of Cups, High Priestess energy, 2 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, and the 2 of Wands. And so I think right now the masculine is really thinking before he speaks up. He's thinking before he says something. There's this very profound pause, this very profound still silence. And hear that song, the sound of silence. Whose song is that? I don't know. Anyway, there is like a pacification of the Divine Masculine's energy is what it feels like. Very still. And so I don't think he's speaking up. I don't think he's speaking first. And so I also feel this energy of living with the consequences of the aftermath of some type of tower type energy. And so I think there's some type of an initiation going on as well with the Divine Masculine collective due to some type of an abrupt change. So before I go any further, guys, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, especially if you're resonating with the message. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, share the video, help circulate the content. It helps grow the channel. It's a nice, free, easy way to show me love, show me some support. It encourages me to keep putting the messages out there. So I feel the Divine Masculine right now is learning to control and temper his emotions. He's in this state of strategic restraint due to some type of external karmic enforcement. So there's like this energy trying to control the masculine or micromanage the masculine. And I also feel that's like a mirror for the masculine micromanaging something as well in his life. And so it felt like a very deep state of dissatisfaction though, where a lot of the Divine Masculines were at with this very disturbing need to control a situation. And so there's a lot of emotional withdrawal, I feel, which is really affecting the masculine's ability to see the path forward with clarity. And so the stillness is going to really create that disturbing energy when it comes to the restraints though. And I feel there's this very fixed focus energy that is really triggering self-discipline to be mastered for the Divine Masculine is what it feels like. So I also feel this perfected self-discipline is also a restraint because a lot of the masculines are seeking perfection before taking action. And so there's a need also to temper impulsive temptations. The masculine is like the energy of like 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. And so the masculine needs to recognize the value of stillness and focus in order to learn how to control his emotions. And so there's a deeper understanding, I think, of some type of toxic condition or relationship that the masculine's been connected with that is a part of this expansive journey for the masculine. So there's doubt. I feel there was doubt, there was restlessness, and all of this is due to some type of restraint that the masculine is trying to work through. So I feel he's trying to also figure out how to bring forward some type of explanation, because I felt this very demanding energy that is trying to hold the masculine back from taking any action towards the feminine. And there's also the fear of having to explain the position that he's in, I felt. So there was a very weird energy surrounding the masculine collective, a very convoluted energy trying to tap into their energy field. And so I feel this is due to some type of like unpredictable circumstance surrounding the masculine. There could be like a major loss of focus as well with the masculine collective due to being overly focused on the details. And I feel like there's like a fine line between peacefulness that they're trying to create, but there's like this fine line between like harmonious illusion or delusion is what it felt like. Harmonious illusion or delusion. Either way, I feel the masculine is really in a state of deluding himself while trying to substitute all of these other things for that genuine tranquility that he would feel if he just went towards the feminine, the peacefulness of the feminine. And so delusion is feeling almost like the real thing right now surrounding the masculine. And I think that's why it was so hard to really focus in and hone in on the real energy that's going on there, because it was very mystical energy surrounding the masculine, very concentrated energy, and I feel root chakra energy, fear energy, and sacral chakra. And so there's a lot of under pressure energy coming through, like pressurized assessment, focused assessment energy, raw power too, that raw masculine power. And so there's almost like this passive tension as well below the surface going on, and the masculine is going to need an outlet. So there's like a deep intensified energy that I think is building. And right now the masculine is trying to find something worthwhile to channel all this energy into. But there's like a rebalancing going on between the root, which is saying keep moving forward, overcome these challenges through power, and really he needs the concentrated stillness. So I feel a lot of this energy is due to the feminine kind of reaching a certain status of affluency on her path, on her journey. And so this restlessness, this oscillating energy of restlessness and depression, I feel is the recognition of now the masculine having to address the pattern of bouncing from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, and not being able to find the self-discipline to withdraw and just be in the stillness and concentrate on the lesson, because there really needs to come a time, I feel, for the masculines to stop seeking that outside outlet and to go within and do the work. And I think the Queen of Swords energy that came through was the embodiment of I feel like the feminine exposing something or speaking some harsh truth or some harsh reality being revealed or unveiled in the masculine that he needs to accept in order to refocus. And so it's like a difficult truth, I feel like a difficult truth that was exposed. And I think a truth connected to what real joy is. And so I was shown the Four of Swords for the Divine Masculine. And so they're like in a gateway of facing challenges to restore some vitality. So the Four of Swords is like the death of an idea or a person. It's like the death of something. So the masculine can strive for a better life. And so I feel right now there's like an overwhelming energy of criticism as well surrounding a lot of the masculines connected to their love life in a certain form, shape or form. And something about the moon phases are really affecting the masculine's moon. And I do know that the moon is going to be in Cancer. Not while I'm recording it, maybe. I'm not sure exactly what time the moon's moving into Cancer. But the moon's going to be in Cancer. And so that will make a lot of the masculines moody, I think, especially if they have major Cancer placements. But there's a very intermittently cyclical energy connected to the masculine's love life right now. There's almost like a borderline perversion, too, that the masculine needs to work through when it comes to the lustful energy he's projecting towards the feminine. I need to sneeze. And so there's like an electric spark. And I feel the masculine's really reduced his ability to create joy in his life because of the overindulgent behaviors and the decadence with substance abuses is what I feel, which has really really hindered the spiritual genius within the masculine because of these perverse stimulations that they're falling victim to. And so this electrical spark as well is fueling this stimulation, or this simulation, they want me to say, simulation, to be broken apart. And so I think as the feminine stays in this very focused energy as well on creating, this is naturally forcing the masculine to confront the duplicity in his life at this point in time. And so there's a lot of inner difficulty is really what it felt like when it comes to the inappropriate influences surrounding a lot of the divine masculine collective, which is really undervaluing their worth at this point in time, which I feel too, a lot of the divine masculines, 1111 on the timer, are a little bit defensive. They're a little bit on the offense, on the defense, and because they're trying to project this strength of character, right? And so there's a lot of overstimulating energies, I feel, and the masculines really succumbed to the darker side of the journey right now. I think a lot of the masculines have been carried away, and so there is a need for questioning. I feel questioning integrity. And really questioning the effectiveness of where they're at. So there's this energy too of like the channeling energy of judgment, like judgment and death were big for the masculine going into that collective energy. And yesterday's message for the collective, I will tag it throughout or at the end. I'm pretty sure it was like doubling down on death energy. So there's a lot of insatiable root chakra, splenic energy coming through for the masculine collective when it comes to this energy of judgment and accepting death, doubling down on the death, which would be like the Four of Swords energy. Because right now there's something weak in the masculine's life, or something weakening his auric field. There's something that the masculine is connected to that is unhealthy, that is weakening his auric field and making it like unable for him to live a very joyful experience. And so there's a challenge when it comes to a pattern that the masculine is needing to face, and it could be connected to an authority figure, like a father figure. And so over pleasure is a problem. Like they're like overindulging in pleasure, which is creating a lack of appreciation of beauty for the divine feminine. So there's like an attracting energy of negativity, I feel, around the masculine. And so the moon energy was really big as well. And so it's like they're talking about wanting to do something, and there's like no follow through is really what it felt like. And so like an existential awareness, an existential identity crisis is really what I feel all of this focused energy is bringing forward, so the masculine can improve his situation and learn how to actually manifest from a healthy state. And so the moon, I feel, is bringing forward like a desperateness. There's also like a hidden desperateness behind the masculine, because they know they want to be of service in some way, but the energies are really pushing them, I feel, to find out and figure out who they are, what they came here to do. So let's jump in further with the cards for the divine masculine, and we'll see what else needs to come through with the oracle cards and the tarot. So let's go a little bit further with the masculine collective energies. We get the soul's journey oracle cards. We're going to pull some lesson cards from here to go further look at that. I haven't used this deck in a while. The Death. We are doubling down on death. I can't even make this up. Okay, so they are learning that endings are merely new beginnings. So there's Scorpio energy, and then we get growth. Which I feel is like almost like the Taurus energy, the Taurus-Scorpio axis. And so they want to expand their consciousness through this doubling down on death awareness. And so thankful for the lesson. So let's get into it. Let's see what else needs to come through. And I feel a lot of the feminines have just been overly patient, waiting for this death process. And so I feel the masculine is learning that everything happens in divine order. And now is the time of this cosmic reordering. Okay, so what do we get for the masculine? We get the blame and we get the balance, B squared. So I think a lot of the masculines are bringing into their awareness with this judgment energy of what it is they need to be accepting responsibility for. A lot of the masculines, I think, play the blame game, and they stay in a state of denial, and they deny the connection. They don't acknowledge the fear of the intimacy. I feel a lot of them are afraid of the deep intimacy with the divine feminine. And so as the feminine, I feel, comes into almost this aligned perfect state of harmony in her world, it is creating the energy of balancing and judgment and releasing the denial, because a lot of the masculines do receive a lot of intuitive insights and they have psychic awareness, and it's kind of time to embrace this change, I feel. So I feel the masculine is understanding that nothing can really evolve or grow without movement. And so envy, a lot of the masculines, I feel, envy the divine feminine. Give me a minute. I don't even know where I left off. The girls are not very cooperative today upstairs, so they're a little bit argumentative. But I do feel understanding that we all have our own challenges, right? We all have our unique challenges. And then there's that courageous lion coming out. And so I feel the masculines are working on facing their fears, finding their inner strength to restore a sense of confidence. And I just got a flutter in the solar plexus. So 9 of Swords, I do feel they're learning that worrying about perfection isn't going to change the outcome. So releasing fear, they are being tested. They are being tested with their resolve to release fear and to embody the energy of love as the divine feminine has. So let's go in with some archetype cards. I'm going to grab a couple archetypes for the masculine today by Carolyn Miss. And we'll see what kind of shadow attribute archetypes are being integrated. We get the visionary and we get the healer. This is beautiful energy coming through today. And so the masculine, I feel, is needing to have to face where he's taken advantage of those around him, where he failed to care for the divine feminine and himself. And so there's a healing of some shame, I feel, some guilt and regret. And I feel stepping back into the light with his passion to be of service, right? And so working on repairing the mind, the body, and the soul, and the spirit. And that was the big message that came through for the divine feminine channeling. So if you didn't watch the divine feminine message, you might want to go and check it out. But transforming pain into healing. So I feel a lot of the masculines might be at a rock bottom. And then we get the visionary, which is like a King of Wands energy. And so I think learning to no longer compromise who they are just to fit in or just to be accepted, right, by society or by society standards or the status quo. And learning that he has the capacity to envision maybe new earth, which is not quite even conceivable yet to the masses, right? And so, and to stepping into his proclamation without any regard for financial gain. And that's what it truly is about, giving without expecting anything in return. And so evolving and moving. So let's get a couple of these archetype cards. Yeah, we're not taking the ones that fell. But we're going to get a couple more and see where the masculine is at with these archetype messages. I think the masculine is in a state of falling out. We're going to take that. I know there was another one that flipped out there. Okay, there we go. All right, let's do it. We got Prince Charming on the bottom of the deck. I feel a recognition where they've used their charm for self-aggrandizement in the past. A lot of these masculines had hidden motivations. If you notice with the flowers behind the back, they had hidden motivations. They weren't really forthright and honest. They used their romantic charm to swindle, I think, a lot of people. A lot of the masculines have in the past. We get the Midas. We got the Midas touch. that came through. We get the Avenger, so I feel Libra energy. I feel Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. We get the child nature card, and we get victim. And so they're learning to no longer play the victim. A lot of these masculines play the victim, play the martyr. They just want all this positive feedback. They want their egos fed. And they do this by playing the continual pity party, right? And so I feel maintaining personal boundaries, that's a lesson that a lot of the masculines, I think, are also learning. Because when they allow themselves to be a victim, then they're just perpetuating victim mentality. And then they are going to keep being victimized. And so a lot of the masculines get into karmic relationships to be emasculated, to learn the role of the martyr or the victim so they can return to communicating with their inner child. And so I feel grounding energy too for the divine masculine. They could be learning to no longer resort to violence. I know a lot of the masculines can display some narcissistic tendencies. We all can. So no judgment there, but I feel the lesson in hoarding, right? And so if you look at all the different mazes that feel like labyrinths that the masculines had to kind of weave in and out of lessons, learning the lesson of the Four of Pentacles is what it feels like, where they hoard emotions and they hoard finances, and they have this obsessive fear over losing money. It's always about the money or the wealth or the status, right? And so sometimes we have to lose it all to understand that it's not always about money, and that we do have the creative ability to turn anything into gold. And so I feel the masculine might be losing it all in order to be pushed into some type of entrepreneurial path, because we are here to share life's riches. We aren't here to hoard. We're here to share. And so there's like a balancing of the scales, justice energy playing out. And then we get the prince. So we're going from Prince Charming to a monk, and then we get a king. So I do feel a lot of the masculines are ascending and transcending the negative karma, the negative patterns. They're going through a period of enlightenment and spiritual ascension. And embracing selfless devotion, no longer being single-minded, but allowing the dedication to spirit, and going through some type of negative judgment in the physical world due to entitlement. So let's go further with the tarot. We will see what else needs to come through for the masculine. Let's go further with the tarot. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this deck. We get the Nine of Wands and we get the Four of Pentacles. Look at that. So there's the hoarding. There's the hoarding of the emotions, looking at things as black and white, understanding that really it is about smart business decisions, heart-centered action. You know, the more you give, the more you receive. And the masculine is at rock bottom, deeply wounded, 22 on the timer. So I do feel this is the beginning of the masculine really no longer playing the victim. So the wounded healer, and the wounded healer, the spiritual warrior, came through on the Divine Feminine's channeling. So go check out the Divine Feminine message that I posted earlier today. All right, let's get into it. Oh, we get the Eight of Coins in reverse. The masculine could very well be losing a job or losing his money in order to create some type of karmic rebalancing. There's definitely very diverse energy surrounding the masculine. We get the High Priestess, so we get Sagittarius, we get Pisces, we get the Knight of Wands. So the masculine really is turning inward to understand his true soul's desires. There is a very dark, desolate reevaluation energy. There is a very deep, dark dive, but look at what's on the other side of that. The masculine will rise as a true masculine, benevolent leader, right? The Emperor utilizes logic. The masculine, I feel, is reorganizing his life, and he is doing this inwardly. He is developing his intuitive gifts. He knows it's really not time for action, but he's working on increasing his successes. He is taking charge of a situation, preparing to take a leap of faith. I do feel the masculine is rebalancing after maybe a job loss. But there is a breaking free from an entrapped situation. This is about taking responsibility for the Knight of Cups energy. Wowza. Holy moly. Look at that. So yeah, this is karma playing out for the masculine, right? Is exactly what's going on here for not valuing the Divine Feminine. So there is a huge emotional exploration going on here. And I do feel this is connected to a deep-seated mother wound where maybe there was a lack of nurturing for the divine masculine. So there's childhood exploration. The masculine's going back in time, having to understand this toxic pattern from childhood and why all of these failed relationships have gotten him to this point, right? Failed relationships. And so the masculine too is learning to stand up for himself and learning the law of reciprocity, as did the feminine in her channeling come through. So once again, Lionsgate, the central energy is the sun reverse, that Leo energy. The 888 portal is huge for the twins this year. The divine masculine is accepting the leadership role, is exactly what it looks like, and definitely going through some type of karmic reckoning. I do think the masculine is lacking self-confidence, for sure. There's fear of bringing in a solid love offer because of this seeking energy to heal a pattern from childhood. So negative judgment, for sure, before this new start. And so unavoidable change that masculine is in. The Tower reverse. So this is like a major release of old belief systems. So if the masculine has been procrastinating, the Tower's coming in and blasting something out of the water because he's been stuck in this Five of Cups, the guilt, the regret, the shame, the negative, the what didn't turn out, like the self-martyr, the victim. He's been in victim mode. He's been in victim mode, in Ten of Swords reverse mode, all up in his head. And I do feel there's a need for this Tower so the masculine can refocus the thoughts. So this is very interesting coming through. So I do feel there is unfounded fear, but look at that, breaking free from an entrapment. So learning how to take charge, for sure. Let's clarify the sun reverse, this Leo reverse. I'm curious to know more about this Lionsgate energy for timing. So there's a deep dive. I feel a lot of the masculines are going through a heart purge in order to empty the well, to prepare to receive this new emotional experience. I feel there's an abundance of psychic insights being downloaded. I do feel a lot of the masculines are going through a heart activation, a heart awakening, in order to release drama, to release conflict, to release the third-party interference. And so there is a major release, and the masculine will come out on top. And so there's a reorientation, a regrounding. This does say Midas touch, and we did get the Midas touch. And so the masculine will come out the other side of this as the rising phoenix. He's planning on coming in, offering security, prosperity. Everything will turn out. And I do feel the masculine is watching too. He's not really communicating yet because he's still in a state of learning a lesson, right? He's still in a state of growth and self-discovery, especially when it comes to this opportunity. So there's a lack of communication. I think there's still a cycle that needs to reach full completion before the masculine can come forward. So let's get a closing message here. Wow, meditation practice, and so empathy. So there is a need to understand sometimes we go through separation, we walk different timelines. We all have our unique healing journey. We all have our unique deep childhood wounds. No two journeys are the same. So what is the closing message? Liberation. So the masculine is learning to break the chains of addictions, restrictions, and any impediments, and he is choosing to go towards unconditional love. And so the masculine, I feel, is going through some type of third eye activation, awakening, a rediscovery, and there's that dark night of the soul. And so they're in a very deep, dark evaluation right now, this uncomfortable place. A lot is being unveiled when it comes to past life relationships, childhood relationships, any patterns, so they can release self-criticism and really embrace walking the path of the healer with the divine feminine. And so I do think they're looking at you with a fresh set of eyes, and I do think they're really hoping that you will still accept them when all is said and done, because I feel a deep heart pain here. And there is a relationship paradigm shift because the masculine is going through a very intense soul awakening at this time. So that's what I got, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a soulmate reading with me, check out the description box below. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.